Thanks for joining us at Right On Replicas, where we're proud to bring you the best scale model kit reviews on the planet. This review covers the custom chopper set from RM Kustoms by Revell in 1/12 scale. It's model kit number 85-7324. We think you're going to like this kit because of the variations available within it. But it comes with 74 parts and is a skill level 5, so it's not for beginners. It's molded in white, clear, chrome, and vinyl tires, and it features multiple water slide decal choices with crisp edges and flawless adhesion. This is one of the nicest motorcycle kits we've seen in a long time. It's a pretty straightforward build, just kind of finicky, but remember, test fit your parts and remove the plating from the chrome where a glue is required. Overall, it's about 8 3/4 inches long and 5 inches high. We decided to make this a tribute build for the Armed Forces of the United States, so we'll be using flat Tamiya paints for all the colors. This is a good picture of the frontal areas, and if you follow along, we'll show you exactly how to build one just like it. Here are some of the tools that we used for this build, along with an airbrush for the Tamiya paint. Now gather the parts like this to assemble the engine. This is the assembled engine. Make sure that you scrape off any of the chrome from the contact points for gluing surfaces. I used a black wash to highlight the recessed areas here. You can mix that up yourself with about 3 parts water to 1 part paint for acrylic. And then after it dries, you just kind of buff off the chrome highlighted areas with your finger to reveal those. We'll start with some of the frame, and notice in the first picture here there's an ejector pin mark right there on that crossbar. Make sure you clean up those areas with the ejector pins and some flash on the frame to make it easier when you go to paint it later. Now clean up the gas tank and the front fender pieces and get those ready for paint. As you can see here, the gas tank has been camouflage painted with a Vietnam era camo scheme, and it also has a decal on it which we'll explain later. Now you can finish paint the frame halves and get those ready with the other pieces to start assembling the bike. Gather all the pieces together, including the forks, the frame, and the engine. Now test fit the parts to place them together and assemble the basic frame. You're going to need to remove a little bit off of the forks to have the frame meet it tightly around them. I decided to wire my engine for a more realistic look, and the red arrow shows the stripped wire from a telephone cable, and the yellow arrow shows an unstripped wire. I went with the yellow because it looked like it's more to scale for this kind of build. On the lower right, you can see where I used a little bit of blue masking tape to simulate the boots for the spark plug wires. Using a little black wash really brings out the details in this chain and sprocket. Here's where we are at this point. Just stage these parts for assembly in a few minutes. Paint the insert all chrome and assemble the oil canister with these pieces. Now we'll use these parts to add to the main section of the frame. Set the engine in place and add the covers. Now install the chain and sprocket and make sure that it fits between the forks. I chose the skull air cleaner cover here and added some red highlight to the eyes to make it have a visual pop. The oil canister looks really nice there, and it fits into some slots that make it very easy to install. Everything lines up really nicely here, and I detailed the belt cover with the skull figure to give it a matching look to the other side. It all lines up real nice and goes together well. Now make your choice for the exhaust, and I chose to use the long sweeping ones, the pair. Be sure to scrape off the chrome from the glue points and assemble the exhaust together. Here are some of the accessory parts we'll be adding later, but just let these set and dry for now. Now locate the handlebar grips. I painted those flat black. You get a choice of 3 different handlebar styles. I like the high bars that we used to call ape hangers. Now we'll stage the handlebars and blackwash the brake discs for later assembly. You get 4 different versions of seats for this kit, and I chose the blank seat to go with my military motif. I used the natural segments on the seat to carry over the military color scheme, but you can see it matches the fender well where I placed the Navy logo at the lower section. The red arrow here points to the brake disc that's had the black wash applied to it. As you can see, it's much more detailed than the brake disc with the yellow one. Now, assemble the tires by slipping them onto the rims and just kind of massage them around until they fit right in there. And notice that the short side of the hub and the rear, the long side of the hub, are facing to the left if you're sitting on the bike. Now you can add the handlebars, the gas tank, the seat, and the rear fender to the assembly. Make sure that, unlike the instructions, you put the hub on the brake disc on the left side if you were sitting on the bike, and install the wheel at this time. I toned down the chrome a little bit by adding some of the military base colors to the outer rim of the wheel. Now you can glue the exhaust pipes into place on the engine. Add some flat black paint to the tips of the exhaust so they look more realistic. This is a good place to add the kickstand so that you can stand the model up to finish putting on all the accessories. Here are the clutch and brake pedals, and if you add a little black wash, there's some detail there to be seen. Shown here in the front end, you can see that this is a great looking bike. All the chrome stands out nicely, and it's got good fit and finish. With this fat tire in the rear, you can tell that this thing just screams show and go. Everything in this kit was well designed, but the 4 different versions and parts that you can mix and match can really customize this to your liking. Everything fit together very well. I think you're going to love this build. I have to give Revell kudos for coming up with such a great package. I hope you like this tribute build. There's an emblem for the 4 armed forces segments on it, and I think it'd make a drill instructor proud. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you won't miss any of our premium quality reviews. But you can also find us on the web at www.rightonreplicas.com and on Facebook as well. Thanks again.